Hi, following on from my Cobalt 8 versus Jupiter XM video where I realised at the very end I had the Minilogue Xd sitting here behind me, which may well have been a much more apt comparison. So I thought to put these two together as the prices on this and the Cobalt 8 are so similar. The Cobalt is £579 and the Minilogue Xd is a little bit cheaper at a snip under 500. You can get it for maybe £490, £498, and you can actually pick up now the desktop version of the Cobalt for around £480. So they are really close on price, and they're both polysynth. The Cobalt 8 is an 8-note virtual analog, and the Minilogue has just got 4 voices, but it's got 2 analog oscillators per voice, and it's also got that third digital oscillator where you can upload user wavetables, and there's loads of stuff that you can buy for that from third parties, and I've made a whole video demoing some of these, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out and how that all works and what you can do with it. They're both built really well. The Cobalt feels a bit chunkier and is heavier than the Korg, and it's got the full-size keys, but there's not like loads in it. But interestingly, the Korg Op6 has got full-size keys, so maybe and hopefully the future will see more full-size keys on smaller-size synth. Who knows? But they've both got a really nice high-res screen that show you waveforms and stuff, and the menus are really easy to navigate. So on the face of it, we're in similar territory. One's a bit cheaper with fewer voices, but it's got the analog circuitry. The other's got more voices and is an all digital affair. The sound engines are a bit different as well. The virtual analog on the Cobalt's more flexible, I suppose. It's got all those sort of algorithmically produced oscillator waveforms as starting points, and it's got more modulation routines. It's got 3 full ADSR envelopes and 3 LFOs compared to the more limited envelopes and the single LFO on the Korg. But that does have a digital oscillator and the digital effects for which you can upload third-party user effects and third-party user waveforms. So they are different technologies, and they've both got a different take on being flexible. Unlike my Jupiter XM versus Cobalt video, these are much more along the same lines of being a straight-up synth though. They both play a single tone, they're not multi-timbral, they don't have drum tracks or built-in speakers, and they're not designed as a mini workstation, a bit like the XM is, I suppose. They're very much designed in the vein of a standard vintage analog poly, if there is such a thing as a standard vintage analog poly. So in this video, I thought I'd try to start from the ground up and start from initial patches to give you a sense of the overall tone, creating a resonant bass and a PWM pad. And I'm not trying to match things exactly here. I'm just trying to give an overall feel for the sort of different sort of sonic texture of each of the synths, if that's not sounding a little bit too pretentious. Well, there's definitely no doubt that they can both really sound lovely. Overall, I'd say the Korg definitely has the edge with the growl you can get from that filter, for those type of sounds at least. And I think the Modal has the edge on flexibility. I do like having the 3 full ADSR envelopes when designing sounds and the 3 LFOs. And I do love that balanced phase filter, is it called? You know, for a man who likes a notch, having a double notch is right up my street. Having said that though, the XD isn't exactly lacking in surprises, as the third oscillator with its user wavetables makes it so much more flexible than you might expect. So they've both got decent arpeggiators and sequencers, and the Cobalt comes with a great free editor for the Mac and the PC, ISO and Android. The Minilog's got the free librarian that you can get from Korg, and there's a third-party editor you can buy for €6.90 I think it is, but it's not as well integrated in that respect as the Modal. So in the end, I think you're definitely paying extra for the VCOs in the Korg, but they are worth it as they do sound lovely, and I am a fan of those novel oscillators on the Cobalt, so it really depends on what's most important to you, because I think these are really two nice small synths. And I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please hit subscribe and maybe take a look at my Patreon page where I've got a whole series of video tutorials helping you to get the most from your synths. And I hope that was of some use to somebody somewhere, so I'll see you next time.